So, what is Google Analytics? What does it does? Well, the question should be if you're trying to sell anything, doesn't matter what it is, what if you could get insight to show you what the rankings of that product or service were behind the scenes so you know how to sell it better? That's the question you'd be asking yourself. Hello, I'm Israel Galindo with Advanced Networks. I hope you guys are doing great out there. Today, I just wanted to do a quick video in regards to Google Analytics. I'm not trying to sell the product. I just think it's a good tool to have in your arsenal, especially if you're a creator or if you're running a business or even if you just have a website. Any of these things are really good for Google Analytics to kind of give you the insights of what's going on behind the scenes. How is your car running when you're just driving it, right? Our websites just run themselves. We try to put videos out there, yet we don't know what's going on. Who watched your video, who bought your product, what demographic, what location. Maybe you need to tweak a few things in the delivery of your message for your service or your product or your company to really understand the behind the scenes. Now, a lot of you are going to say, I've heard of Google Analytics. I don't know anything about it. I'm not techie. You do not have to be techie, as we're going to go through it today and show you how it works. So the first thing is, how do you get to Google Analytics, and can anybody get it for free? Yes. You need a Google account, obviously, so you can create a free Gmail account. It doesn't matter what it is, or anything tied into your YouTube account. Your business can have one. You can just create it with your email. So let's go through that. Let me switch screens here. So if you go to analytics.google.com, what it's going to do is it's going to have you log in with a Google account. So I created a Google account right here for a different channel that we're doing so you guys can see. So it's going to say, well, welcome to Google. It's going to tell you a little bit about it, and then it's going to say start measuring. So again, I did it with this channel so you can see the methodology behind it. So it's going to go through and ask what the new account name is going to be. So for this one, I'm just going to call it is radio. So I need it to be, that's the channel I'm trying to work on. And then it's going to basically have you check a few boxes, benchmarks, and so on. I am going to check the Google products and services. I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Now, when I hit next, it's going to basically say, give a property name. A property name is really just representing the web business. So again, for me, I am going to use the same one. I'm going to use what I used in the first title. You can call it that. You can call it web. You can call it whatever you like. It's totally fine. And then just your reporting time zone, your currency, things that you want to do that on. And you can go to advanced options. I'm just going with a wizard just to quickly show you. Then it's going to ask me a little bit to tailor my experience of my business. So I'm a small business. I'm going to measure, my customer engagement because I want to know what my customer engagement is. I do want to optimize my site, so it'll give me analytics on optimization on that. All that really means is how is your site performing? Measuring data across multiple devices. Yes, I want to know if it's on phone, tablet, and Windows. So that's very important for me. Optimizing my advertising costs. Yeah, if I do any ads out there, if I pay Google or all of these other companies to put ads, I also want to be able to know what it's doing, what it's saying. Increase my conversion. Yeah, it's going to let me know what and how it can do better. So that's very important as well. Measure content monetization. Of course, if I'm monetizing everything, if I'm doing YouTube videos and I'm measuring the content, how it's monetizing it, if it's making money on the 19th minute versus the 27th minute. So it's very important to do that. Analyze my online sales. Of course, I do sell products online. So yes, important to me. Measure apps installs as well. That's also very, very important to do. Again, measure lead generation and other. Let's just click it. Why not? Let's just go through the process of that as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the creation of that and as well go through the usual terms and conditions with Google, as well as measure and control data. It's just terms and conditions, again, doing the same thing. So getting those completed are very important. And then I'm going to hit save on that as well. So once I've gotten into this part, I'm ready to link this to my website. Here's my setup assistant, which is going to be the top left. So the next step is going to be getting that data. Now remember, the data has to be aggregated. So it takes a couple of days to analyze what's going on in your ecosphere. So I'm going to go to the setup assistant. And I know, again, it looks very, very techy, very complicated, but really all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this item, and I need to add this to my website information data. Okay, so in Google Analytics, once you've got it registered and created, you're going to go to the setup assistant within this breakdown on the left-hand side. Start at the top, tag installation, because we need to get the measurements from whatever devices you're going to be getting aggregated data from. Most of us are going to be doing it from a website, so I'm just going to go little arrow over here. And you can do web, Android app, or iOS app, because you have apps that also gather data. So I'm just going to go with a website. The website I'm going to use is radio.com. And the website name is Radio Studios. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Enhanced measurement, it's going to basically go additional standard page stuff. So more in-depth, like embedded items and things like that. So for me, I'm going to allow that to create my stream. Once it creates my stream and it basically tells me what is going on, it now gives me a measurement ID and so on. So I can take this information and I can go ahead and go through the process of adding my item to my website. So connection site tag, I can go here. I can do an additional tag if I want to do another tag for that. So I can do an additional name, like to give you an example, maybe I'm measuring media management, or do my tag that I have for that one and link it so I can see it within the same aggregated data. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it as is so you guys can see how it's done. So now if I have this all ready to go, I can go here to the Google site tag and get that ready to be pasted. Now for this part, you will need access to your hosting of your website location, because you got to drop this link so Google can tie to the website. That part, not difficult, not the end of the world. You don't have to code. There's none of that crazy stuff. It's just going to ask you how to put it into the system, which is very important to do. So this is the script code that I could do. And basically, as you can see on here, it'll say to copy this into the field of your first page. Again, not difficult to do, but if you are not oriented in regards to the code, there are other ways where you can actually do that, where you can track a code, or you can go here and add a generated new code and so on. So those are important to do, very important to measure, very important to add. Now, I'm going to skip this part and go into, let's just say we already have it set and completed. So this is a different page that I'm looking at, but now we're looking at a page that does have live data and ranking. And what does it really mean? Once you have this, you're like, this is foreign to me. There's a bunch of graphs. I don't even know where to begin. Well, this is why you're watching this video. This video is very important when it comes to understanding everything. Right now, we're looking at a company that does plumbing, and it's a home services, of course. And it tells you right off the bat, your users currently in the last 7 days, your sessions, your bounce rate, and your session duration. So think about that though. If you're looking at 48-second session duration, somebody was on the website for 48 seconds, and you might go, haha, this company's not doing well. Not true. Why would you go to a plumbing website? Why would you go to a plumbing website, right? You need the phone number to get, because you got something busted. You don't usually go, oh, I gotta call the plumber one of these days. No, when you're going on the website, it's because you got something going on. You got a flooding. 48 seconds, that's not bad. Somebody went on there to get chat support, to get a phone number, to get a hold of somebody to fix my flood. So that doesn't really cater too much to them as far as the session duration. If they were there for 3 or 4 minutes, as a web designer myself, I would be like, what are these people looking for? A plumbing website is just for you to get that service right away. Anything longer than that, I would freak out. Anything less than that, if it was 4 or 5 seconds, I'd be like, they didn't like that. They moved on. So that's the sweet spot right there. So, all right, we're going to go into the cool stuff. Left-hand side's got your reports, and it goes by date range, so it's very important. The longer that it reads your data, the longer that you have more historical items. So real time, I don't personally go into real time because I don't really care to see who's on the site right now. You can go into an overview of real time. Who's on the website right now? One person's on the website right now. Great. If you need to know that, who's on your site right this second, that's great. Maybe when you're doing a YouTube video and you want to see how many people are live, that's fine, but you can see that on your YouTube live video as well. So I'm going to skip the real time because that's not important. And trust me, I don't really know a lot of companies that we work for that really have that importance. So my importance for me as a creator and for this company, if I'm looking at it as outside eyes into this company, I want to know who their audience is. Who's going on there, right? I also want to know in the acquisition, which is very important to me, active users and so on, and the behavior, and are there any ads going on, in the conversions? How are my ads returning? So we're going to start with the audience and what's going to happen in the audience. And you know what, I just realized, let me move, I'm going to turn off my little bobblehead because I think it's going to be in the way. Maybe I'll just move it to this side. Okay, there we go. I think that'll be better for you guys. So basically what we're going to do is let's look at an overall audience. Now, the biggest thing on here, the most important thing, is going to be your date on the right side. Because you're looking at 7 days. That's not really giving me real data unless you just care about the week. I'm going to go for the last 3 months just to be on the safe side. So let's just do 3 months and see how our data has been aggregated, because then I can go by week and month. So you got some peaks, good stuff. You got some lows, average, peaks, lows, peaks, lows. Realistically, to me, the peaks are going to be for this company if there was a huge rainstorm and things were happening, or they did ads, an ad. So think of it like a wave. Here comes the ocean, right? There's your peaks and bounds on that, on the users. So you can go day, you can do hour, you can do week. So if I go by week, it's going to look a little different. Here's my week. May 9th to May 15th, May 23rd. Now, if I go hourly, it's going to look way different. Here's by hour. May 12th, you had 2 users, and so on and so on and so on. So you go through the entire thing. Let's go back to the month view. And you notice that in a quarter, 3 months, it went pretty good from 1,000 people, 1,000 users, to peaking at 1,300 users. And then it dropped down to about 800. So what could I have done different for this customer at this time to keep them going? Engagement. Now, engagement for a plumbing company is just like anything else. You got to know your audience and you got to know how to take them. But you also, for this company, they also go by seasons. Some seasons are going to be more crazy than others. So for, June to July in California, it's been over 100, the hottest summer ever recorded. So people are running their air conditioners. Plumbers are going to be called for certain things, So you got to look at how to advertise and how to foresee what's about to happen. So those are very important ones to look at as well. So let's go. That's just your overview. So now active users. I want to look at my active users for this customer and see when my active users were really on. Okay, so what happened on May 12th that we had a lot of users. Active users here for one day was 109, and it peaked up here on June 25th. What were going on those days, at least for us? So it's a good idea to jot those dates down and then go back to your service and see what was going on those days that we had active users. There was probably campaigns going on, but we can also tell in this active data. So again, you have so many different things that you can look at here, your audience, your user, your demographics, your interests, which we're going to get into. For me personally, I want to know my demographics. That's the most important for me, not for everybody, for me. I want to know who came to my site, where they came from, were they female, were they male? I want to know all of those things because I can cater. A plumbing company, I'm gonna guesstimate. A plumbing company is probably mostly guys. And again, I'm segregating that. But we're going to be able to tell in the data if what I just guessed was true. Let's check it out. All right, so demographics. Let's do an overview of demographics, right? Demographics are going to be here, and it's basically going to go female is the lighter blue and male is the darker blue. 52% of men have checked out the site. 47.5% of women have checked the site. So there we go. And here's the other cool thing, the age range. Again, I was going to guess, I'm not even going to look at this, the data right now. You can't see I'm covering the screen. I'm going to guess that most people calling a plumber or looking at the website are going to be late 40s, early 50s. Let's see if I'm wrong. All right, so 18 and 24, we're under 10%. 25 to 34, we're about 20%. 35 to 44, 14% of that. I read it wrong. Here we go. So yeah, about 14%. And then here we go. 45 to 54, 17%. I was wrong on that. So bad on me. Here, 55 to 64, which actually makes sense because I think in our 40s and 50s, we're trying to fix it ourselves, save some money. And then the older generation are the ones who are going, hey, I don't want to do it. I've already done it. I need help. And this is the ones that are calling. And in the 65 and up, it still drops down a little bit, but you get the demographic data of who's accessing your site, which is great. You can go deeper if you want. And again, we're still on a 3-month date range. You can change that. Age, you can actually break it down further by age. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you on here how many users came on. 703 users of the acquisition of the total are coming in and breaking down. Between 55 and 64, 162 people are in that range. Now, the range I was talking about, the 45 to 54, are 126 people, and the 18 and 24 were 64 people. So you can really dive down on that. And how long did they stay on the page? You can also look at that at the duration. That's also very important. You want to drill down again to male and female, it'll break it down to the number, as well as new user sessions, etc. So that's another good thing to have there as well. That's again on your demographics. Now, we can also go by interests. Interests are pretty interesting because you can find out who is checking your site. Our restaurants, our office spaces. Whoever registered to look at your site, it's going to look at their demographics. I think my demographics for me are a technology company and a music production company. So for me, it would probably come as a music producer or a tech company, or a business, a corporation. So for this, if you go to overview, what's going to happen is you're going to notice that food and dining are the most. Now think about that. When you're at a restaurant, you do not need a flood, whether it's in the bathroom, in the kitchen. So for them, their market right now is food and dining. They can do really, really well when it comes to advertising to restaurants and business. Very important to do that. Now, shoppers, like say commerce, clothing stores, big stores, JCPenney's, things like that, as another big one that they should cater to. Lifestyle, hobbies, and business professionals, probably gyms, things like that. Banking, still decent. News, etc. And you get it. You go down the list and you can see how that works important for them. Now, in the in-market segment, it's going to be the auto industry, the home and garden, the real estate. So here's a little bit of more stuff, again, catering to that. And in the other categories, as you can see, it goes through arts and entertainment, sports, and all that jazz. So a lot of these are really good knowing their users, very important for them. So that for me is a very great interest to look at. You can go dive deeper into the interest. Now, where are these people going to the website from? Very important for them because they got to know their audience. Maybe there's a city that really, really is looking at their site, but they're not tapping into. They're losing money, right? So you're going to go here. You can go language and location. I'm going straight to location. I want to know where my data is coming from. There's the United States. You could drill deeper by city and continent and all that. So I know that they only service the Southern California region, so United States. In the United States, I know that they only do California. They don't do other states. And these are the cities that they do service because I work with them, so I know that. So in these items that they have right here, Los Angeles is a key city that has been checking them out. They have a few businesses in Los Angeles that they work with, but mostly it's Ventura County and yeah, I would say Ventura County, Thousand Oaks, Camarillo. All of these cities are important cities to them. But Los Angeles is a big city, has been checking them out. So for LA, it's probably a good idea to market a little more for them because they do get a lot of people watching them from the Los Angeles region. So again, the location is very important to that. Behaviors, I don't really check too much that. That's going to be more your analytical person. New people versus returning, old customers versus new customers. Um, you can look at that. You can look at the frequency when they come through and so on. And the engagement, how much engagement is there? But my favorite is going to be acquisition. And I'm going to tell you, this is my personal favorite. So I'm going to close behavior. Acquisition for me is important for one reason, because I'm a creator, I'm an online creator, and I need to know where all my online advertisement and everything is happening. Most of us would probably say acquisition is going to be our best views of this. It's pretty, but realistically, it's going to tell me what's direct versus what's, organic. Direct, just going directly to your website. Organic is finding it in Google, it's on there. Paid is going to be how much the customer has paid to have search, pop-ups, things like that. And then referral is going to be this little tiny smidge right here. It's been referred by somebody else. And then social, for me personally, the most important, because I'm a social person with social media, that's going to be big. For me, that's going to be the key one to push more on. Now, you can see direct is great. I want this pie to be twice the size because I advertise a lot for them in social media. So I would like that pie to get bigger, and you can influence that pie bigger as well. So going into here, again, we're looking at a 3-month span. You can really dive down on this graph a little further. So let's go with all traffic. And we're going to go to all the different channels that are happening. So it's going to give us details of the people and users that have been hitting that site, from direct to organic to social to paid to referral. It's drilling down. That's what you're doing. You're starting big and you're drilling down to where you need to be. Now, for me, I'm going to go straight to social because that's my important piece to look at. You can look at however you want to look at it. My social relationship on here, it's really going to be looking at my social network. Where's my social network really going in deeper? Facebook versus Instagram versus this. Maybe I created a couple of landing pages to attract new customers. How are my landing pages doing? If I go to my landing pages here, I had a landing page on May 12th that did pretty good. The rest were okay. Here's another one. So a lot of those right there are very important ones that we need to look at as well. So let me go back to my channels, and then I'm going to go into my social media because I want to dive deeper into that one. Okay, so here's my social media. This is important to me. I know this company advertises a lot on Facebook, right? And Yelp, it's pretty good. Yelp, they're not getting too much. So if they're paying for Yelp, I'd probably say, you're spending too much money to get nothing back. Now, Facebook is getting a good, throw some extra money onto Facebook. Instagram stories, they've got one, but it's still a pool that they need to do a little more on. So it's very important that they tap into that as well. At least for the last quarter, that's what's been going on. Let me drop it to the month. Yeah, same thing on that one. It looks like it spiked a little bit, but there's those as well. Now, they do have Google ads that they've been running, so I'm going to look at my campaigns in the Google ads and see if they're doing any well. Because, here's the bit because. Keywords, just like hashtags, are very important. Keywords change every single day. If you don't keep up with the keywords, you're not really going to know where you're at. Maybe somebody says the trendy keyword for them is water heaters, and everybody starts paying for water heater ads. But now the new trend of the word is, I don't know, cast piping. I'm making up words. Cast piping, and they're not tapping into those campaigns. So it is very important to look at how your campaigns are doing. If their campaigns are doing great and not great, then you really don't put money into that. I mean, why put money into something that's not there? keywords on here, it's going to tell you what your keywords are on your website and what's currently trending. So keywords are also important on here. So the keywords that you can see on here, I really just not giving them a lot of information. What's my search queries? What have people been searching for? You know, here's another one that they have a lot of stuff that's not set that should be set, but those keywords should be set. What are the exact keywords that are coming through? I want to know. They don't have a set one. How am I supposed to know it if it's not set? So this is where I go to my dev guy and be like, what are you doing? I need to know what my keywords are. Why am I not getting metrics on that? I need to know my keywords. Very important to understand those. So again, going into drilling down deeper, what are my campaigns doing, right? Here's my campaigns. There's some campaigns that were out there, social campaigns, campaigns for local cities, and pay-per-click campaigns. Again, it might be over your head. That's totally understandable. I don't need you to understand everything on that. I want to just show you guys a few things. So on my social campaigns, what kind of pop-ups have popped up for people? One of them, there was one advertisement that was done that has been doing okay. You know, it's not bad. Does this change often? Probably change often. But this campaign company needs to understand that if these numbers are going down, they need to adjust that campaign. Very important. Now let's go for the paid keywords and organic keywords. These are your paid keywords. The name of the company and leak professionals. That's your keywords. That's it. I would add 19 different keywords that I pay for that are important keywords for this customer. Organic keywords are the stuff that's just found on the web. Not said, in their website. That needs to change as of today. That needs to be organic keywords that are part of the website, that are being pulled out of the website to get better readings. If I have the website keyword, you know, best plumbers in Southern California is a keyword. Best plumbers, you know. Again, you're probably competing with a bunch of other ones and all of that. But then I can look at my comparison cost analysis of what is going on where. So you can do those reports as well. And again, and you've got a behavior, how the site's going, how it's moving, how it's doing better than the others, etc. So those are important ones on that as well. There is one that I do want to show. Let me go on here. Yeah, site content, because I know some of you have had questions. How is my page doing? I created a sub page, but I don't know how it's doing. So under site content, all pages, what you want to do is you want to break down and look at how it's doing. So here's the plumbing services, right? That should be important to them. That should be the page that's top of the list, you know, instead of page one. We're hiring. That's another big one. So let's do plumbing services and see how that page is doing. It did well, and then it dropped, and then it really hasn't really been seen. So plumbing services, should I change it? Should I leave it? Is there something else that I should do? Maybe one of my landing pages is not doing so hot. So let's see if they have any landing pages here that they've done. Yeah, here's a few landing pages. And you can rank them and sort them by this little arrow here. Top to not doing so well. This landing page, irrigation repairs, is not doing so hot. It's tiny, and you can break down and drill down if it's even done well. So if you look on it, it did well in the beginning, and then it kind of lulled and then did okay. So all right, you know, I'll give it to them. A couple of sessions here, a couple of sessions there. I would probably look at that page and see if it should change a little, maybe different colors, maybe attract different audience that you know what's checking it, because you can look at the audience in this page and see, you know, what's going on. What keywords are in that landing page? Nothing to provided. So things that need to be added into those pages so we get a little more demographic on that are very important, you know. So those are, again, key things that we should look at as well. That really is the last thing I wanted to show you guys on that. You can do reports. Reports are really pretty. And a lot of these that are, let me go back to one from the top of the page. Here's my alt page. So say you want to show it to a manager or show it to your team. You can do reports on here. You can export to different versions. You can do a PDF, which I do to customers. I usually do Excel or Google Sheets because I want to take this data and I want to put my own information for my customers. So that's really good. You can even share this page. I mean, Google Analytics page. It won't give them editing, but you can basically let them read the data. A lot of people will go, I don't know what you're sending me because, it looks very Greek. And that was pretty much it. Oh, by the way, if you have goals, like if you have certain goals that you set up within Google Analytics, I want my site to have 500 more users by the end of the month. I want my site to make this much money by the end of the month. You can do that. You can see how kind of if you're selling a product, you can link your products in here and see how much money you're making and who's buying it. Again, for this customer that we're doing, they're not selling a product, they're selling a service, just like my company sells a service. So those are very important to do. I hopefully this was very helpful to you. Just a big overview on that. I know it's 30 minutes long, but I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have trouble adding it to your site. We're happy to help. Israel Galindo, Advanced Networks. I'll talk to you soon.